Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to finish up the introduction to radical simplification by talking about rationalizing the denominator. So in the notes here, to simplify the radical expression by rationalizing the denominator. So the rule of thumb with radicals and simplification is that you cannot have a radical in the denominator. So remember, the bottom of a fraction is called the denominator. You cannot have a radical or a square root or any sort of root in the denominator. So here's how you get rid of it. I'm going to take top and bottom times square root of 11. Well, why do I do that? Well, remember when we multiply, we just multiply straight across. So 3 times square root of 11 is just 3 square root of 11. It's not square root of 33 or just 33. It's 3 times square root of 11. And now radical 11 times radical 11, well, from what we did yesterday, remember that's square root of 121. Now, if I get square root of 121, what's the square root of 121? 11. Mr. Dorr, don't you just take 11 divided by 11 and then that's 1? No, because there's a difference. There's a square root of 11 and there's 11. Those are two different things. Square root of 11 is not divisible by just 11. It's kind of like, would you rather have square root of $25 or $25? They're two different things. Square root of 25 is 5, whereas 25 is just 25. So yes, I'd rather have $25 than square root of $25. Anyways, that's why you can't simplify this any further, because 3 is not divisible by 11. So that is my answer. Well, that's interesting. Square root of 11 times square root of 11 is 11. Ms. Dorr, is that how it works every single time? Oh, great question. Yes, it is, because square root of 3 times square root of 3 is square root of 9. Guess what square root of 9 is? 3. Square root of 7 times square root of 7 is square root of 49. What's the square root of 49? 7. That is how it'll work every single time. So with that in mind, let's do the next one. Times square root of 5 times square root of 5. To get rid of, you always multiply by what's down there. So I get 4 radical 5 over square root of 5 times square root of 5 is square root of 25. Again, what's square root of 25? 5. So eventually you can skip that step. You can just go straight to this. And again, can't take square root of 5 divided by 5, and I can't take 4 divided by 5 either. So that's in simplest form. Here, square root of 6 over square root of 6, multiply straight across, I get 2 root 6 all over 6. Now in this case, what's 2 divided by 6? 1/3. So it's 1/3 radical 6, which I can just write radical 6 over 3. Mr. Dorr, what about 6 over 3? Doesn't it simplify? Again, that's square root of 6, not 6. So two different things. That's going to be my final answer. Do the same things here. So I get 4 root 11 all over 11. Done. Now this one's going to be a little bit more work. Square root of 50 over square root of 50. Now 9 times square root of 25. I'm going to go ahead and simplify that. Square root of 25 is just 5. So I get 9 times 5 times square root of 50 all over square root of 50 times square root of 50 is 50. So 9 times 5 is 45. Square root of 50 all over 50. Now, can we simplify square root of 50? Well, yes, we can. Doing what we did in previous lessons. So we're going to write this as 45 square root of 2 times 5 times 5. 2 times 5, right, is 10. 10 times 5 is 50. If you need to look at that again, remember you'd rewrite it as 5 and 10, 2 and 5. So I'd rewrite as 2 times 5 times 5. That's where that came from. When we use prime factorization. Again, all that's over 50. So I get 45 times, and I'm going to rewrite this in terms of squares. So that's going to be 45. Since remember, there's a 2 here. These match up. 5 escapes. And I'm left with 50. So finally, I get to 45 times 5, which is 225. Radical 2 all over 50. Now what's 225 divided by 50? Plug that in your calculator and you get 4.5. And now remember, we go second PRB, go second PRB, enter, second ABC, enter. And I get 9 halves. So all that gets me 9 radical 2 all over 2. And again, can't divide those because root 2 and just 2 are 2 different things. Last one up here, this is going to be 6 times 5. Oops. Let's multiply top and bottom by root 125b. So again, when I do that, I'm going to write this as 6 times 5. All over root 125b times root 125b is just 125b. Now, let's simplify what's underneath here. So I'm going to take 125, write the prime factorization of it. That's 25 times 5, which is 5 times 5. So this is 6 times 5 times 5 cubed b all over 125b. So that's 30. 6 times 5 is 30. I'm going to rewrite this in terms of squares. So I write it as 5 squared times 5 times b all over 125b. So I get 30. Remember, there's a 2 here. The key matches up with the lock. So I'll kick the 5 out. So the 5 comes out. Times 5. The 5b has to stay because it has no key. All over 125b. Now let's finish simplifying this. 30 times 5 is 150. I could have figured that out. What am I thinking? All over 125b. 150 divided by 125 is 1.2. And we turn that into a fraction, and that's going to be 6/5. So 6 square root of 5b. Oops. All over 5b. Again, 5b and 5b don't simplify because this is square root of 5b, not just 5b. And that is how you rationalize the denominator. Thank you guys for tuning in. The next video will deal with simplifying radicals when there's addition or subtraction involved.